people that are thirsty to be agents or to get into real estate. They look at you and they go, well, you're just a boy from Cov. Yeah. And you've made it, so why can't they make it?
They can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the opportunity. Like there's no ceiling with this.
In life, there are winners and losers. And the honest difference between me and a normal guy is I've got massive bollocks. And no matter what happens...
Storytelling as well is so important. And I think in sales especially, people feel like they haven't got the time to be able to tell somebody that.
Storytelling for me is maybe my number one selling tool if I was still selling property.
You don't want the guy that's been in the best market for the last 10 years. You want the guy that had his back to the wall when things were tough.
And that's the cheat sheet for everybody watching this. If you're watching this, the company's set up in the last 4 or 5 years, they're the ones that are in danger. This is a big lesson I've learned. Having a 50-man team, 100-man team, and a 500-man plus team, they're such different businesses to run. Because in the 50-man, you're the CEO, you're the heartbeat. The 100, you're trying to bring people up. At 500, it is strategy, structure over everything.
Yeah.
And it's so different. Controversially, Mark, I would not be a leader if I was in real estate still.
Yeah.
Unless I'm running this company, the thought now, and I see managers do it, put your tie on, why are you late? Premium your listing, why have you not taken photos? If you're making £1 million plus a year, and then you're dealing with idiots that don't even want to come in on time, I honestly would be like, this isn't worth my time.
People that are leaving what you'd call like real jobs to all of a sudden become real estate agents, and they're realizing, and they've been massively successful in these other industries, and they're coming into real estate and they're falling flat on their face.
A lot of them, by the way. I honestly think the fail rate is 70 to 80%.
You'll do a viewing with somebody, they'll go on the list, they'll call up the owner, and it could be your best mate, and he's done you out of a deal. So is that still going on?
I think the most ruthless thing in the market is...
With so much content out there, how do you avoid all the noise and cut straight to the value? What has become very apparent is that the best way to learn is to surround yourself with those you aspire to be. But you can't just watch what they do. At some point, you have to turn it into an action. Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. On this podcast, we will go on a journey as we speak to people who are making a difference in their industries, and people who, if you listen to closely, take action and turn you into who you want to be. My name is Mark Sclair, and this is Your Turning Point. Lewis.
Mark.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Before we get into this properly, I just want to say one thing, because I've known Lewis since 2008 when I arrived here.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll say is I always appreciate, and maybe you don't know this, but when I arrived, came to live in the same building as you in 2008.
Marina Tower, shout out.
There we go. After living in Sharjah for 2 months and Bur Dubai, so that was definitely an upgrade for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you welcomed me into the group.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think one of the main times I met you, or the first times I met you, was actually at Baron's and Benji's birthday party on Radisson Blue on the rooftop. Yeah. And, it was just a simple thing, just welcoming me and making me feel good and comfortable. So I always appreciate that. So
I try and teach my kids that. I mean, I just think being kind to people, if you can pass that on to people. I've always been that way anyway. Deep conversation, but be nice to everybody. Pay it forward, always comes back. So I'll never change that way. And my kids will never not be that way as well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for welcoming me onto the podcast.
No, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Your job title is chairman of Allsopp and Allsopp.
I basically sit in a chair now.
That's
what I do.
You're a man.
I chair and I'm a man in a chair.
Yeah. But what does that actually even mean, though? What does that even mean?
So there is a logical structure behind chairman. I was actually CEO of the company for 16 years or 15 years. And then when the corporate tax come in, business gets really serious at that point, and everything from your pay structure to the board of directors who's in the company. So basically my CFO at the time was like, look, we have to change the roles around a little bit, because if you're taking a pay a certain way or you're running the company a certain way, you have to be a certain title. So anyway, I didn't really want to be the chairman. Chairman's like a 60-year-old, 70-year-old guy. But I sort of grow into it now. Now I'm a man in a chair. But basically, I run the business. I think we've got just there's 670, 650 people in the business. I don't really get involved in the day-to-day, which is the crazy thing. Like, so a lot of salespeople don't actually know me now, which people say to me, what area do I sell? A chairman's role really is to direct the business, the direction of the spend, the direction of where the growth of the HR, to sales directors, to market share, and let the guys go and execute their plan. That's what a chairman does. I'm a driver in a chair.
Well, look, let's go back then.
Yes.
Let's go back to when you were properly involved in it
Yeah.
and late nights and pains and everything going through it. 2008.
Yeah.
I know that you were doing real estate even before that, but that's when you started Allsopp.
It's our 17-year anniversary this week.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Wow, we've made it.
Yeah. Well, that gets me into another point here, because you started out in a villa.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's probably things that we can share and can't share.
We can share everything
for legal reasons, maybe.
For
as
legal
well.
reasons,
For legal
there's some things we can't share. Yeah.
But to go from that to what you're doing now, massively impressive and inspiring.
Yeah.
But what seems to happen now is, so what for me is important to kind of see this from my perspective, from the outside, because you guys, you might be doing your thing each day, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of like how I'm seeing things at the moment. So you have always had this thing about bringing in like raw talent, going to the UK, bringing them over, training them up. What seems to be happening now from what I see from the outside is, and you may have been doing this for a number of years, but you seem to be getting some real top performers from other businesses, whether they want to leave or you're approaching them, whatever.
They're both.
A bit of both, yeah. So there's two different types of people. You've got that raw talent who you have to be patient
and experience.
with. And then you've got the experience.
Interesting one.
Yeah, how have you been dealing with that in the business?
So, I mean, look, about maybe 2 years ago, I said to the partners in the business, I said, look, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. I know we are, people call us at the University of Real Estate. You come in to join us. You might not stay forever. Maybe it's not for you. People can offer higher commission slabs. They can offer more freedom. I've got people that have said, I want to play golf on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You want me in at 9 a.m. This isn't for me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I know we're the university. I know what the business is about, structures, processes, and there's been so many businesses set up off the back of our businesses. I mean, I could literally list them, whether it's the directors to the owners. There's probably 20 businesses minimum that have started also. Some great business, House on House, the lads at Strada. There's been Williams. I mean, the list could go on. There's nice companies like White & Co. They're directors of people from our businesses. Yeah. And I'm proud that I've got that footprint in the business. The difficult thing for a lot of businesses is trying to copy what we do. And they try it and it lasts for a year. But what you'll always find off is that they peter off later on, because the secret sauce is not the logo, the brand, or it's the people in the business and the people that are driving the business. So going back to how we got to the stage we're at now, we decided about 2 or 3 years ago, look, we need to make sure we're hiring the best talent. The problem with the best talent is two things, Matt. Number one, they don't want to leave because they've got a pipeline. If you're selling houses, you're locked into the pipeline. But number two, there's got to be a reason to join. 2, 3 years ago, there's not really a reason to join. Like, we're a good company, we're a good brand past that point. But then we launched the private office. Yeah. And when the private office was launched, it sort of took people's head and like, what's going on here? Then you've seen the partnerships. We work with Unas, we work with Laura Piana, we had Idris Elba. We do open events with agents. We spend so much money doing, the open shows, and we're in SWM magazine, which is the partnership we have with all the football agencies and football teams in the UK. And the list could go on. There's so many things that we do where we're now creating this US. People think, hang on, I want to work here. Yeah. So when Charlie took over the team, Charlie obviously comes with a thorough reputation of people want to work with him. Anyway, we ended up bringing in a girl from a really well-known company called Lindsay Redstone. Lindsay was working with us. Then we brought another guy called Ted. Ted was one of the top agents at his company. Ryan Hudson actually predominantly left our company to go and be a director of a business.
Oh, really?
Come back to work for us, and he was like, look, I want a piece of this. Yeah. He's already done his personal best for this history of working in real estate in 7 months or 8 months of being in the private office. Obviously, we've taken a guy called Roberto from a fantastic business called Espas in the Dubai real estate market. I'm probably the only guy that's going to name the company, by the way, and just do it and throw the bombs out there. Why not? But listen, all these companies are great, but we're different. You know, we are heavily involved in technology investments. I look at us as a business. Someone said to me, one of the new starters yesterday, like, what's different with you guys? I said, we invest. Forget just tech. Let's not even toot the horn about that. I own the offices. The offices that we work in, we can never get kicked out of. We own them. Now, every other real estate company, go and pick one. Outside of probably Better Homes, they will all be moving offices in 2 or 3 years or paying a certain amount of money. I am so invested into Dubai and its innovation and its growth that I think people are attracted by that. So in the next 6 months or so, you're going to see more people coming from other companies.
And the window's not closed?
The transfer window is never closed.
Okay,
that's the number one thing.
Okay.
But look, I say to everybody, it's the same thing with people leaving. Okay, it's not a prison.
No.
And anybody that wants to leave our business, and look, there's no magic formula. People leave our business. You've got to want to be there.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be part of the journey we're on, no problem.
Yeah.
But there are people on the outside that are saying, shit, I'm getting nothing from my company. And these guys are working with these brands and these football agencies. I mean, there's stuff that I don't even talk about. Elite Sports Performance. So Elite Sport, we signed up a partnership with them. We're on all their shirts. Now, to some people, there's nothing. But I know they train Mason Mount, Declan Rice, Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
They see our logo. They go and see them train. And they're like, oh my God, like this Allsopp and Allsopp. These opportunities don't exist.
No.
So yeah, the transfer window's definitely open, but we will not stop doing what we're doing, which is upskill and train newer people to the business whilst bringing the other people on.
Yeah. So at the time when you opened up Allsopp in 2008, there was a company which was very well positioned in the market, which
Smith
was
& Ken?
Smith & Ken.
Yeah, my friend.
Your friends, your friend, yeah. But what they were known for was white shirts in at 9 o'clock or maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
You know, fines for doing this. If you're not on time, if you're not early, you're late, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people left the business or said, like, I don't want to do like this. I need freedom. I need this. Yeah. And then those people, like, they were like, well, no, I need someone now to look out. I need someone to be on top of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this whole idea of like micromanagement,
Yeah.
a lot of companies were born off the back of it to say we're going to do the opposite. And then you get these people in the door. And the truth is, a lot of them are liberty takers. You know, you give them the freedom and they will just...
There's people from the Smith & Ken era. So there's a couple of guys. And listen, I basically grew up with these guys now. There's a guy called Aaron Parkins that is ex-Smith & Ken. And when that company closed down, when obviously the business went under in the 08, which many businesses did, he was due money. And I was holding the money in my bank because it was a split deal. And he come to me and he was like, now you know this already, because of the way that company was set up, we were a competing company and they were trained to hate us. That's just basically how it was. And Aaron come to see me and I was like, I want you to work with us. And he was like, no chance. And I was like, Aaron, if you want to work with us, this money is here, but I'm not paying you this money because the company's closed. I'll give you that money, but you come work with me and I'll show you what we can do. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't just money. I ended up convincing him. And that was like 9 years ago. Yeah. And like I seen him in London at the Oasis concert. Like I've watched him buy properties. And then the Seth Baidu, another one from that company. And it's just crazy. One thing I would say is that if you look at that company that we talked about before, the Smith & Ken era, 90% of people won't know who they are because people joined Dubai 3, 4, 5 years ago. They were the first company to really try and set the structure and the processes. Yeah. I think we've gone, multiple steps ahead of where that was in that period. But people do need structure, and I'll say that to everybody. I've had so many people leave our business in the COVID era, when I don't know how that's going to work on the algorithm saying that. Just saying that word, and then you get knocked down on YouTube. And they want the freedom and work from home and all this. I've had people say to me, like, when's my mental health day and all these things. Anyway, the people that end up taking the remote working, the performance drops. Yeah. Like, I think it was 37% we found out. And one of the things that we did is we did a study. One of the hardest things in the business we've done, we made people come back in, like senior people. We said, this doesn't happen at Allsopp and Allsopp. Those era is over. This was 2 years ago. Yeah. Your revenue is down. Here's the projection to show it. We ran an 8-month study. 37%, as I said before, revenue increase for the people being in a structured environment.
You need it. And especially like if some people were working from home and the kids are there and they can't even focus or do anything like that. So some people, they couldn't wait to get back in the office as well.
Listen, I know I'm not naive. I'm one of the poster boys in real estate. I know that. And if I'm telling you that I can't sit at home in my office and be productive in my own home, don't tell me that you can. Yeah. Because if I can't, there's a very good chance that you can't and get what you need out of the day.
Yeah, look, for me, what's in sales specifically, if you're in the office and you hear somebody on the phone and they're having a good conversation, you're learning. Like, and they get off the phone, and then a good manager will be like, okay, what happened there? And everyone gets around and they start discussing it. And then they go, right, okay, so what are we going to try on the next phone call now?
My little brother just joined us about 6 months ago. And when he was in the UK, he was working in recruitment, and he was working in my mum's house from the bedroom, but he was on an increased pay compared to his other companies in the office. And I said to my mum and brother, I was like, this is not good for you. I don't care how much more money you're making.
Exactly.
You're not learning from people. No. Like, I could tell you crazy stories where, like, I remember when we were selling off plan in 08, 09, I didn't know how a mortgage deal works. And there was a girl that used to work for called Samantha in downtown. And I sat down and went, tell me, how do you do a mortgage deal? And I'm the owner of the company. Yeah. I don't mind doing that. I want to learn.
Yeah.
You can't do that unless you're around people. And one of the biggest things over the last 2 or 3 years is that people think the win is in the remote working. And the loss of your mental state, your physical state, your learning state is catastrophic. It has been catastrophic for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, that's as me as a sales coach and a trainer. Like, people try to get me to do online trainings. Yeah. And yeah, okay, you can do it, but it's a tick box exercise. Nobody's got their camera on unless you're forcing them to do it. Nobody's engaging. So at the end, HR are like, okay, we've done the training, wonderful. But what's happened? But when you're in the room and there's like 10, 15 people and you put something up on the board, and it's like a simple question, like, what can you control in the sale? Yeah. Yeah. All you can control is yourself. Yeah. And that's your learning, your knowledge, your mental, physical well-being. Everything else goes out the window. Because everything which we've been through, or a salesperson, is how do they overcome adversity? You know, you don't want the guy that's been in the best market for the last 10 years. You want the guy that had his back to the wall when things were tough.
And that's the cheat sheet for everybody watching this. Is if you're watching this, the company's set up in the last 4 or 5 years, they're the ones that are in danger. Okay. I'm telling you now, because if a company's weathered the storm of the good markets and the bad markets, how many companies do I know that are set up in the last 4 years? Yeah. Loads. Yeah. And what's their win? Let me tell you what their win is. We pay the most money. Now, the problem with paying the most money is that at some point when the market turns, you don't make any money. No. And in fact, you're losing money because your revenue drops, your margins drop, you're basically in negative equity. And I think I'm not going to wish for it, because I think that we're also in a good state and also I'd happily let everybody else carry on making the money. But I'm not naive. At some point, the market will turn. Yeah. Now, I would want to work for the guy that's been in the 08 market, the 014 market, the 017 market, the 2025 market, that's seen every single turn in the market. I know Allsopp was literally the company that benchmarked charging sellers 2%. Yeah. And the reason we did that in 2014, the market turned. The reason the market turned was nothing to do with the world state. It was the doubling the transfer fee, reducing the loan to value. And I said to Carl, we need to give more value to our sellers. We want more commitment from them. But more importantly, if the price are going to half, we need to increase our actual commission percentage from 2 to 4. Yeah. Now, what ended up happening, the market did drop, but we ended up making more money. We made sellers more money. But when the market came back up, what happened? We were now getting 4% of the new market value. Yeah. So I've benchmarked all of this, and I can tell you that if any companies are charging and, you know, bringing to the brokers the 70, the 80%, businesses don't make 20% on 50-50. No. So if you're paying 70, how are you making money? When the market turns, we'll see who's wearing I think they say they're wearing the underwear in the sea. Is that what they say?
Maybe.
Something along them lines.
Like
There's some people standing there naked.
The issue is, though, is that a lot of people, they've hooked salespeople in by saying, we give you leads and you'll have leads, you'll be inundated with leads. And all they've become is fat from this. Yeah. And nobody knows how to do outreach. Nobody knows how to generate a lead at all. Like, how do you actually strike up a conversation with somebody that is outbound rather than it becoming inbound?
It's mad, mate. Honestly, I could tell you, even our staff, we're not perfect. No. Like, if anybody knew what I did when we talk about the start, and let's take the 08, 09, 10, we used to take an Excel spreadsheet. Now, there was no portals. No. So you take an Excel spreadsheet of a buyer, and then you would try and find a seller and put them together, and you make 100, 200 calls in a day, because there's no other way to do it. The portals didn't really come till 2010. No. Yes, we had the newspaper where we used to do the golf news, and you'd fight to be on the front, and then you'd hope for a call to come in. But leads are so much more accessible now. The problem that we have, and this is the Allsopp problem, we have too many leads. Now, that's not a pitch, because I basically built an algorithm in our CRM at the moment where we're trying to stop agents inquiring on our properties. So I've got 2 phone number lists of agents, and my tech team have basically built an API to plug in. If you WhatsApp or email us, we won't even make it onto the CRM. Because if you run a report on our system, and let's say you want to sell your house, the perfect agent is you run the report, let's see who the buyers are, and we'll call the buyers and be like, hey, see you looking in the Springs, I've got this property for you. If you run ours at the moment, it's swamped with agents, which I'm now dealing with. Why? Because they don't spend any money on marketing.
No.
My property finder bill is just sub 1 million dirhams a month.
It's nuts.
Do you tell that to anybody? I was with the CEO of Foxtons in the UK, and we were discussing our marketing spend, and he said to me, Lewis, you're virtually spending across all your portals the same as what I'm spending. But it brings leads.
Yeah.
But the agents that are not spending it, they need leads. So what do? They message my listings.
But what happens if that turns off tomorrow?
With us?
Yeah.
I looked at our revenue. It's interesting you said that. 64% of all revenue that come in from our business would repeat business.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. So people with rented, it's very much 17 years in the business. People that have rented from us, sold from us, invested through us. Like we've now built a database of probably, I think like 700,000 people and genuine phone numbers, email addresses, history with them, like if they rented. I basically give them a report of everyone that rented last year and call them like, hey, I know you rented this unit from us. Do you want to look at investing in off-plan? That's where a lot of our off-plan deals come from our database. So portals turned off, it wouldn't be great. I'd probably launch another portal again that didn't work last time.
Yeah, that's true actually.
And that's a conversation for another point.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting market.
And look, everyone's got database and everyone's got numbers which they can call, but it's actually being proactive and doing it. And you'll see that with, people are CRM warriors and they go, oh, I've made 100 calls today. Oh yeah, but nobody answered. You're not even tell me a real conversation you've had.
Yeah.
And it's just a tick list exercise.
That's what it should be. So I say to my agents, I've got 8. So we're basically building a CRM at the moment, a full-on AI integrated Gemini, like high-end CRM.
Nice.
I just can't say much to an NDA with it, so basically I haven't said too much.
Okay.
But off the back of that, the reason I'm saying that is that in our company, agents go on and put a note on for no reason. Yeah. They haven't spoken to them and they'll put no longer looking or trying to get hold of, and they log that as 100 calls. Yeah. Now, the training I was doing yesterday with the new staff, I said, look, you've got to think like a hunter. Like find a buyer that wants to buy something and then basically lock onto that and try and create an action on that deal. Stop trying to float around and put notes on. You have someone, deal with it. And I think that has been missing in the real estate market because everybody's so fortunate with the amount of people that want to buy in Dubai. Yeah. It's become like you're at a buffet and it's like, what do you want?
That's it.
And that won't always be that way.
Yeah, and as we know as well, leads and opportunities, it's 5, 6, 7 real conversations before it really opens up. And what they're doing is they're getting the lead, disqualifying it after one call because they've got another 50 to call through. And it's that follow-up. It's all in the follow-up.
We're dealing with very, very famous English football now. Plays for the first team. We've sold actually to about 4 England footballers from our partnerships. Amazing. One of the guys I'm on the chat to at the moment, basically trying to buy a villa. The conversation went back 8 months ago. So the WhatsApp chat we're in is offering different stuff, different video calls throughout the day. We're at the point where potentially he's going to close it. Yeah. And the only reason that's happened is because we've just kept giving him stuff and reverting back to him. It's like, actually, that was good. Yeah. How many agents give up when they go, no, I don't like that. They take it so personal. They're like, you've wasted my time. And they're done.
Or what they're doing is, it's a tick box exercise. I'm just following up. Are you interested at all? Like how,
Spoken to lead.
But my thing is like lead with value. So everything I'm sending out to them is always something, it could be a market report, and that's what you guys are great at as well. And you dive deep into it as well. Like this is what's happening in your street at the moment. This is what's going on. Like, what are your thoughts on this? I'd love to see what your side of it is and have a conversation. And those are the ones, and you're learning as well.
That's what a lot of people do their market. Basically, even if you make the market report, making a market report from Data Hub, our own personal version of the data transactions, every sold data, rented data, it's basically the same as DXB Interact. Yeah. We will send out ours. But how many brokers in the market, and it happens to me, like obviously, let's say my Atlantis apartment. Yeah. Yesterday, I had someone called Julie message me, Russian agent, no idea who she is, sends me the market report. It's probably actually quite good. Yeah. She'll never call me and be like, hey, did you get my market report?
Exactly.
That's a real call.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, yeah, I did. Oh, okay, amazing. Did you see the last sale? 29 million for a 2-bed. Oh my God, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
And then you're in.
Exactly.
But they don't make them calls.
No. I want to hear them speak. I want to hear them, like, what, if they start speaking, they're listening and they're engaging. And as long as they feel I'm just not a typical salesperson, then they're willing to give me their insights or ask questions to me as well.
The crazy thing with the world, Mark, and it's one thing I've learned, is everybody's selling. Everybody. It doesn't matter who you are.
True.
Like, we're on this podcast today. I'm on here. If I'm giving my time, it's to give you my brand, talk about my business. You want me on it because we're a good partnership and it's a good podcast talk. You go onto LinkedIn, anybody posting, it's about attention. 100%. That attention leads to money. I always revert back to now Cristiano Ronaldo, Kim Kardashian, Michael Jordan. Kim Kardashian had Skims built off the back of her brand. Ronaldo built hotels. He's now a 15% owner of Al Nassr. Not because he's a great footballer, that's because he's got the most followers in the world.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan, yes, was an incredible basketballer, but also he's in Space Jam, which my kid loves, by the way. What a film. Better than number 2. But then he's got Air Jordans, all because he's following. So if your following is good enough, you can knock that on later on.
You can, but again, like you might want to do a partnership with somebody and they've got 1 million followers and then you partner with them and you've had no traction from it at all. Because so many of these people, it's just either fake accounts. And I know that you can look at it now and you can really drill down.
You can go onto people's reels. Like I see people in real estate. I don't chase followers.
No.
I don't even know what I've got, 28, 30,000. I don't even know what it is, 60,000 on LinkedIn. It's nothing crazy. No. But if I post a reel, I have 30,000 views minimum. Yeah. Sometimes they go up to 700,000. I've gone to some people, they've got 100,000 people and they have 800 views. Exactly. And you look at it like, come on, man, you're not that stupid. But people think that having 1 million followers is where the money's at. I could post them on my Instagram, and because the following is so micro targeted, you know that everyone is interested in real estate or lifestyle. I always use this example. Georgia, my wife, launched a bikini brand called Huns with Buns before she was a mother. And I was laughing, going, wow, you're getting stuck in, like, what you're doing. And she's basically getting them from Temu, wherever she was getting from, putting them on this Instagram, and they were nice bikinis, uploading them, and they were selling out every single week. Yeah. And I was like, wow. It got to about month 3, and I was like, I think you need me to step in as CEO because this is going somewhere. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that is that her audience was mothers, kids, influencers of women. Yeah. And she only had 10,000, but it was so powerful for her at that point. So I don't really chase the following side of things. You've got to have the audience that actually acts on the social side of things.
Well, look, they say it's very easy to get attention. Like Lewis, like, I've got your attention. I've got your attention. But within 2 seconds, you'll be gone. Yeah. So it's very easy to get it, but it's very hard to maintain it.
It's also being credible as well. A lot of people, I just think, social media is full of shit. Yeah. And that's the honest truth. Like, everybody fronts like they're billionaires. I'd actually respect someone more if they went, I live in this studio. Yeah. I want to live in a big ass house. Yeah. I don't have this car. I'm coming for it. Like, but everybody, like, these people that post fake on the fake plane, or they're like rented, or they rent it. It's just mad. Honestly, like, it's because it goes back to that attention, but it's just not real life. And what one tip I pass on to anybody, someone said to me yesterday, how do I be taken serious in this market? And I said to them, how you get taken serious, do the job properly, sell houses, and then tell everyone you sell houses, not dance and do jump behind a curtain, scare someone.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, they think I'll do a video and I'll just make a load of money from it. Yeah. It's not
that way.
It's not that way, no. But let's go into this a little bit now, because it kind of helps a little bit with your personal brand here. Yeah. So I want to go back to around about 8 years ago. Yeah. Because I think it's around about 8 years. I lose such track of time now. 2017, yeah. Okay. You were going on Dubai Eye constantly, which is the radio station, and you were telling Brandy Scott and Richard Dean that the market is good, it's in a good place, it's going to be great, it's going to be amazing, and they laughed at you, and that's what I want to say. Like, they told you you're nuts, you're crazy, and look at it now. So how much do you think making that noise? Because it was the great thing about you is you've got a genuine belief in the UAE and Dubai, like.
It made me, Mark. It made me. Like, I was born in England, but I was made in Dubai. And that's the honest truth. Like, I am shaped around an entrepreneur environment from living in Dubai.
But like you, my dad calls me the ambassador of Dubai.
Yeah.
I never have a bad word said about
Yeah.
Dubai. Yeah. But what do you think that had an impact with you? Because all of a sudden, like the market started to turn a bit, and all of a sudden, like everything you were saying, you're seen as like this guru now that's got the crystal ball. So how much do you think that actually helped with?
Before we get on that, did you see my Salek thing that I put on about a year ago?
Yes.
Have you seen how much that's gone up?
Yeah, I've seen that.
94% in a year.
Yeah.
And that's what I used. And I say to everybody, I'm not a genius. I make loads of mistakes. But in business and life, you don't need to read too deep into it. You can feel it. You know, like when we were talking about the property market 5 years ago, I knew that they had a goal to get to a certain level. I knew it was tax-free. I knew influencers were coming here. I mean, what compounded up so well in 2017 is that everywhere else went to shit.
Yeah.
And Dubai stood firm. You go back to the days of the 2021 when everywhere closed down. These guys were advertising on TV saying, "Come to Dubai." Yeah. Like it's built in such an entrepreneurial way. So me making these statements in the market in 2017, I'll stand on it. I will. If I'm the guy that will go on radio and tell everybody, I don't care what was that company that said 15% down. Who just said the market's going down 15%? It was all over the news, and I've got to love in Dubai.
Okay.
Do you not remember this?
This was like a couple
5 months ago, 4 months ago.
Okay.
I want to say the name. They're a ratings agency.
Yes. Okay.
And they said it's going down 15%. And I went on Love in Dubai. And
is it Fitch?
Fitch report come out.
Fitch report, yeah.
And I went, this is so wrong. And I gave all the data why. They posted it.
Yeah.
And look at the market now.
Yeah.
Again, like... So basically, my answer to that is that I will always stand on what I believe. If the market is going down, it's not a problem for me. And people have this main concern where they go, you're always going to pump it up. If the market goes down, people lose their job. They need to sell their house.
True.
I will sell it.
You're in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. So real estate is based on life circumstances. Someone said to me, like, I just bought a new place in London. You're disgusting buying a new place in London. I was talking about the market being rubbish there. I think like that. And why have you bought there? And I said, honestly, I don't want to buy there. But I've got 2 kids and I live in a 2-bed.
Yeah.
Like that's life. That's how real estate works. So that's the way the real estate market works. And that's why I think we as a business are positioned so well, because if you want to sell your ready home, you'll come to us.
Yeah.
And the more that's launched and the more that's handed over, the more I'm going to sell and rent.
But if we look at your personal brand as well, so if you go onto your page, I don't know if it's so much now, but you're very open about where you travel to, what you do.
So open.
New cars, doing this, doing
Cars
this.
are the opposite, by the way.
Yes.
I post my planes.
And we're going to get onto that as well, And look, you're living the life and it's amazing and it's absolutely brilliant. Is it more to attract people that want to come and work and be the Lewis Allsopp? Like you want those types of people that are hungry and see that you can do it.
My social media is a post with intent. That's it. Anybody that posts for any other reason than trying to build what you want the outside world to see. You don't see me in my pajamas with my puffy eyes at night time and my hair not done. Like you will see the good stuff about what, and it's all true.
Yeah.
But I say to everybody, if you're going to post, you don't need to post your sandwich and be like, I had this lovely sandwich that no one cares. No. So when I post, whether it's a boat, a plane, a car or whatever, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's the post with intent, purpose. You know Lewis Allsopp has got that car. You know that he does that. But the reason I'm okay to talk about this is when I go talk to somebody with real wealth and money and background, and they sort of see that he spends his weekends at the Atlantis Royal and he owns a yacht.
Yeah.
And he has a house in London. And he goes on private jets. Like, okay, some people think I'm a knob. No problem. But I'm not denying who I am. Right. Like, no, people call Grant Cardone, whatever they want to call him, or they call these guys. I'm a normal guy.
Yeah.
But I've been successful what I've done. And if you look at my social media, you'll see I'm a family man. I'm successful and I like nice things. That's basically what it's wrapped around.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're building a personal brand, that's actually who I am, if I'm honest with you. Build it on who you are. Like I can tell you now, last night I was playing Call of Duty Warzone in my pajamas. Like I like FIFA. Like, but that is my personal brand. I know the footballers that we're talking about a minute ago. They message me going, when you're squadding up, when can we play together? These are normal guys.
Yeah.
So I just think when you talk about personal brand, it's important to be yourself.
Yeah.
And it's important to put out into the world what you want people to see that you actually are.
But I just think maybe you've seen it like this or maybe not, but I think those sort of people that are thirsty to be agents or to get into real estate, they look at you and they go, well, you're just a boy from Cov. Yeah. And you've made it. So why can't they make it?
They can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the opportunity. Like there's no ceiling with this.
Look, I think the issue is that in life, there are winners and losers. And the honest difference between me and a normal guy is I've got massive bollocks. And no matter what happens, like, mate, I will throw it down.
Yeah.
The market's good, no problem. The market's bad. I remember Property Finder when we went into lockdown, I doubled my marketing spend.
Yeah.
You know, I've done stuff when people go, the market's rubbish. No problem, I'm in. I believe it. How many other people honestly would buy, I don't even know, 50 million dirhams worth of property when the market was going down? That's what the really successful people do.
Yeah.
But you've got to have that vision. I say to everybody, I did a video talking about it. I bought Palm Jubilee 4 months ago. Everyone said, don't buy it. My gut tells me 21 million dirhams for a 6-bedroom, seafront, on the beach, 7,700 BUA. Do I believe that that's going to be good? I honestly do.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know about that. It's too far away. Look what happened previously. I'm in.
No.
And that's how I am. And I can't help that way. My gut's never wrong. And that's the best tip for anybody watching this. Business, life, personal, your gut is honestly always on the money. Always. And people don't want to admit sometimes what they feel there.
Yeah, look, you should go with the first. But I think with you, and you'll be first to say this as well, that even you mentioned it before, like, you're not the smartest guy.
No, I'm not.
And what helps with that, because the smartest people, they overthink stuff.
Yeah.
So with you, whether there's much going up in there, you go, right, does this work? Let's just do it. If it doesn't, then we'll find another way to do it. And I'm willing to give it a go.
I self-diagnose what I am.
Yeah.
So there's 3 things you need to know about me.
Okay.
First of all, I'm a practical learner. I do not learn in the classroom. If you sit and talk to me, I do not understand it. If you show me, I will do it. Number 2 is my emotional intelligence. I know I have a superior emotional intelligence. Like, I can sit in a room and I will know, like, you don't want to speak to me. It's no problem. If someone's not in the mood or they don't want to engage, I know, and I can read the room. But I also know my actual intellect is not that high.
No.
And I'm fine. They're the 3 things. I honestly believe that if you tell me to do, I don't know, algebra, or you want to talk science, I'm not interested. No. You want to talk profit and loss, you want to talk stuff I'm interested in, I'm all over it. You want to talk reading a room, if you want me to get you win people over, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not, as you said a minute ago, I'm not smart on the paper, I'm smart on the street.
Yeah.
And you don't get that without making loads of mistakes.
Yeah.
I've made so many mistakes.
Yeah, look, I think, and even before you came here today, like, I've got 2 parts of my podcast. One is where I interview people where I can learn.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's millions of people listening and they can
billions.
Millions and billions of the Rocks fans. And
he's looking skinny at the moment, by the way. I'm worried about that. Have you seen him?
He just did a movie though, didn't he?
I don't think you lose that much muscle mass.
No.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Hopefully. We're not the Rock guy.
Exactly. It was bad enough that we lost Hogan last month.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But the other side of it is, I call it failing my way in public to success.
Yeah.
So when you say, like, people are just not authentic in way of, like, showing what's happened.
Yeah.
There's so many times where, you know, I do public speaking and training. But one of the stories that I share with people was, like, the first time I did that, when I had to get up on stage and do something, I had the mic here, had the slides there, and I was going like this constantly, and nobody could hear me. But I share that story because
it's how you learn, though, isn't it? You won't do it again.
Storytelling as well is so important. And I think in sales especially, people feel like they haven't got the time to be able to tell somebody that.
Storytelling for me is maybe my number 1 selling tool if I was still selling property. And I talk about, like, the Atlantis Royal. So yesterday I had this weird thing. I always want to get my hair cut there. And when I get my hair cut there, I always meet high level people. Last time I was getting my hair cut, met the Atlantis CEO. We're now friends. We're selling one of his properties. Like, amazing. Being able to pick the phone up to these guys and being around certain circles is a big part of it. But storytelling is such a big part of sales because if I was selling the Atlantis now, I wouldn't say, and this is what a lot of agents do, 2,879 BUA, 3 bedrooms, sea view. I would be like, okay, Matt, look, imagine waking up in the morning and you go for your coffee and you go for your morning walk on the beach. And then when you finish your morning walk, you go to the Atlantis Royal, you go to the gym in there. Use the gym surrounded by multi-millionaires. You get ready for work. When you're getting ready for work, you're sitting on that toilet and you're looking straight down the Palm Jumeirah. Yeah. And on New Year's Eve, when you open that balcony and then fireworks light up, you will say, do you know what? It was all worth it. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh my God. Yeah. But other people say 2,700 square feet. Everything is storytelling and people don't get that.
No. You got to paint the picture for them.
Did you want to buy off me then?
Definitely.
That's all I want to hear.
Well, I must say that view that you've got is.
I'll never sell
I don't
that,
think
by the
there's
way.
a better view actually in Dubai in regards to
I'll
covering.
never sell it.
Never going to sell it.
Mate, on New
Make
Year's
a silly
Eve,
offer now, everyone.
bring me big offers,
Yeah,
mate.
there we go, yeah.
But do you know what? I think that unit there specifically, the views and everything, on New Year's Eve, I've done it 2 out of the 3 years about it. They put the fireworks right outside the Atlantis. So you sit on your terrace and you've got your own personal fireworks show.
That's incredible.
And then like in the Atlantis Royal, they've got all the New Year's Eve dancers and shows going on. It's just like, it is next level. That building, honestly, is the best building in the world, in my opinion.
No, it is. Okay, I go there a lot of weekends, actually. Yeah, just...
They let the riffraff in, do they?
Yeah, that's it. I sneak in.
I know, Lewis.
I say your room number, actually. Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
202.
But at that time, when you bought that unit, it was literally like, well, why are you buying this time? It's ridiculous. But you thought to yourself, it's the Atlantis. Like, it's going to be bigger and better than what the other one was. Yeah, it is a little bit over the top in some places.
I pitched it to Carl. I literally said to Carl, I was like, Carl, I want to buy this, mate. Like, so weirdly, you go back to 2010, 11 era. I always remember walking through Wild Wadi, and I remember saying stuff, you feel so good when you're in here because the music's on when you're walking around and people are on a holiday and it's so 5-star. Yeah. And then when this came available for sale, I looked, I was like, oh my God, like forget money, lifestyle, you can live in the Atlantis. So that was it for me. I was already gone at that point. Yeah. And then I looked to the price per square foot. It was 4,000 dirham a square foot. And I went in to see loads of the senior agents said, look, I'm looking at this. Don't buy it. No. Market's down. Show me anything at 4,000 dirham a square foot. This and this. Anyway, ended up obviously buying it. Mate, it's tripled in value. Yeah. Tripled.
That's amazing.
It's been insane. But again, how many people do that? And that's the life lesson I try and say to people. If you want extraordinary, you've got to do extraordinary. It doesn't just come.
I think when you look at it now, though, it makes so much sense. Like, you love branded stuff, yeah? So the brand, other things around the world, what they do in regards to people coming here all the time, like, it just makes sense. Yeah. But back then, you're probably thinking, yeah, it does make sense. But you've got other people saying, no, no, no. And people end up listening to that.
Everyone calls you crazy until it works. Yeah. That's the honest truth. Yeah. And it's the same thing when I talk about the tech we're building at the moment. Can't talk too much about it. People will call us crazy. Yeah. But if I build what I'm building, I will take a huge market share of the real estate in Dubai. Huge.
Nice.
Could be wrong. But if you're not in,
exactly,
you don't win.
Yeah. He who dares.
Yes, brothers.
He who dares. There you go. So you've mentioned a name a couple of times.
Yes.
Carl.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I know who Carl is, but why don't you tell us who Carl is, and then we can go from there.
Carl is the CEO of the business. I was the old CEO. He took my role. He basically is the operations, the real brains behind the business. I am the face. Like, I'm the guy you send out to speak. But the best way to describe our relationship now is I'm the spender, he's the saver, or I'm the guy that throws the grenade in with the idea, and basically he brings it all together. Like, he is literally the brains behind the business. Yeah. And if it wasn't for being together as a business partnership, it doesn't work. No. Because if you've got someone so gung-ho as me, it's fine, I'll bring you sales, but at some point it will fall apart. And if you've got someone just like Carl, you won't have the full revenue in leadership of the face coming in. Yeah. So it's been a relationship where it's just clicked. I mean, we've had loads of arguments along the way, but we now know. Carl knows what I am. You let me fly. You do not clip my wings. You don't try and suffocate me. There's things I want to do. If it don't work, you can say I told you so. But if it does, you'll be like, that was good. And I know where Carl needs to be. Like, Carl will meet our CFO and come up with strategies for a 3-year forecast. I do not need to be involved in that. No. Like, I'm looking at revenue. Carl will look at the back end. Yeah. We'll sit together. We'll digest it. And that's basically how it works.
Yeah. But you didn't mention he's actually your brother.
He is my brother,
yes, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I want to get on, because number one, he's older than you as well, isn't he?
He's 41 now. Shout out to the 41-year-old men out there.
There we go. There we go. And I say this because, I've got 2 brothers, okay? And years ago, we actually were working together in a real estate company, Kingsgate. You remember that as well? Yeah. And it just didn't work. Yeah. I wasn't appreciated because I'm the youngest, so they're telling me to do everything and they're not appreciating the work I'm doing. Yeah. The other 2 are just like, well, you're not doing any work and I'm bringing all the money in. So How does it work with you guys?
Look, the relationships evolved. Like I always think, I was like your brother Dave. Like we were literally money makers.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically what we would do. We'd go in, you'd have the money. There had to be somebody in the business that would claw it together, and that would probably been you or Paul in that company. But at the start of a business, the money maker is the most important one, hands down. Like I know multiple times, probably I'd saved that business from deals that needed to be done. But the business now needs Carl probably more than it needs me. So I think you just go through this evolution of the stages. And again, going back to my role today, now I'm not on the sales floor. You know, I'm not on the sales floor.
No.
Like I don't need to be. I do the higher level stuff, and I let Mark Walters and his team below him run the company. So I think in business, this is probably a big lesson I've learned. Having a 50-man team, 100-man team, and a 500-man plus team. There's such different businesses to run. Because in the 50-man, you're the CEO, you're the heartbeat. The 100, you're trying to bring people up. At 500, it is strategy, structure over everything.
Yeah.
And it's so different.
And how have you been able to deal with that really? Because have you brought in advisors? Like, because I think one thing with you is very clear, and you say this quite a lot, is like you're willing to ask. How to do it, like you said with Samantha, like how do you put a mortgage together, so that's a great thing because you leave your ego at the door, and you ask these questions. So how has that been for you in that journey?
I think I found it really hard, to be honest with you. Like people don't understand running a business. Like we'll get onto the other side of a minute how I found it, but like running a business, like you'll never be the hero. Like if you have an amazing month, it's the sales agents, they're the heroes. And if you have a bad month, you're the prick that didn't bring the leads in. That's basically how it is. And no matter what you do, you can fly business first or whatever. Whenever you do that, there'll be a moan that like, why didn't that money come to us? Like you like owed something for running the business. And how I've sort of dealt with that along the way is I've hired incredible people. Like we've got a head of people. So when I see there's a problem, we bring people in, or I see there's a growth opportunity. See the chief people officer I brought in about 2.5 years ago. She was the head of Husby, headhunted her specifically. The goal was this: we've got bigger. People don't feel the love. I want them to feel the love. We are a personal company, but we are growing. It's one of the problems we face. 2.5 years later, our retention is incredible. We still lose people, but we've got like weekly paddle, football. We've got small stuff. We've gone from like trophy certificates to trophies, and we don't no longer take the whole company out. We actually take out the winners. And these little things, like I'd rather spend the money on the people that are doing it rather than the people maybe they don't want to be there. So there's things we've done across the last few years, bringing the CFO in when you talk about corporation tax, because running a business now, Mark, in Dubai isn't fun. I've got Emiratization. I've got a certain amount of people. 3% of my business has to be Emiratis. We've got to increase that 1% a year, which is very difficult. Corporation tax, VAT, all these roles, even anti-money laundering. So it's no longer like, oh, you take 50, I take 50. That's not the business now. Like I've got this whole end of the business where we get investigations from the Ministry of Economy on the holiday homes, and then the tax office just walks in and wants to see our files, and then every sale you do in every lease, you're world checking every person. Like it's such a different business. And the reason I'm telling you all that is we wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't accept I need much better people to run this business. I've got it so far, and I can definitely give you the vision. But my chief tech officer is the ex-ITVX, built the ITVX app. They built the Net-a-Porter app. My CFO is Swiss Bank, like high level. My chief people officer is tech people. Like they're really, really good people. And then obviously you've got the homegrown. You've got your Mark Walters that is basically imprinted into me. Paul Kelly, who is imprinted into Carl. And they act downwards to Dan Maloney, who's imprinted from Mark. And then you create this, your Jamal Toscani, Rob Kempton, Darren Murphy. They are imprinting onto their sales staff downwards. So it's interesting scaling a business. You can't do it just from acquiring talent. You have to have legacy to create the rhythm of your business. And I'm happy to hire people to do that. I need to.
I think this is a nice way to go in, because something that I'm a firm believer in is like not everybody should be in leadership. Not everybody should be a manager. And people think it's the natural progression. Like and it's a social thing as well. Like, oh, you're still in sales. Why are you not leading the team? Why are you not managing? And they get into management and they're like, well, this isn't for me. Because as a leader, you have to leave your ego at the door.
Correct.
And as a salesperson, you're going to have the biggest ego in the world.
Controversially, Mark, I would not be a leader if I was in real estate still.
Yeah.
Unless I'm running this company, the thought now, and I see managers do it, put your tie on, why are you late? Premium your listing, why have you not taken photos? If you're making £1 million plus a year, and then you're dealing with idiots that don't even want to come in on time, I honestly would be like, this isn't worth my time.
No, exactly.
And I think the progression in real estate for management, people want it for ego, but actually you're probably going to make more money and be more happy not chasing, these
100%.
people that are not at your level.
No, sales in general, is like, I did software selling as well. Like, the salesperson was earning more than the manager.
Yeah.
Like, that's just as it is. And he's got no problems. He goes to sleep at night. He's got his clients and that's it. But I'm sure there's plenty of times where you've hired people that have been top salespeople and you've promoted them to leader.
Yeah.
And I say leader because there's manager and there's leader. So there's people that can do pipeline updates with you and they can go, right, how many leads you called it? That's a manager. Yeah. But the leader is the one that goes like, let's discuss this, let's go through this. What's happening here? What's going on here? So where has that been like a challenge for you guys? Because you've grown so quickly as well and people wanted promotions.
Yeah.
And then they've come in and have been top performers and have probably had to leave after that.
Yeah, look, we don't really lose managers, in all honesty.
Okay.
I accept running the business. There's two types of managers. There's your leader and your manager. Your manager is the one that does the KPIs, and we've got a few of them that don't sell at all. Yeah. And I need them KPI managers. They're the people that check viewings, how many listings are going on, give them tips.
Nice.
Then there's your leaders, your Rob Kemptons, your Darren Murphys. They're actually good managers. But you sit with them on the floor, you learn off them, and their deals are involved, and they drag people up with them. They're like the captain's armband. They're them guys. And I think you need a mix of both, because having everybody just being a manager, I know what I am. I'm a leader. I know categorically I'm a terrible manager. My follow-up's not great. No. My paperwork stinks. Yeah. But if you give me a group of people, I can get you to march in a direction and believe why that cause is. Yeah. I know that's a leader. So I think you've got to accept in a business there's going to be a bit of both. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. And it's frustrating being a business owner because sometimes your leaders don't do what you want them to do, but they deliver the results. Yeah. Don't put the viewings on the system, but they're on $1 million dirham for the month. You're like, come on, help me. But how do you go Darren Murphy that booked 3 viewings in a month on the system and he does 2.5 million in a month? Yeah, it's incredible. I just know when to leave people alone to a degree. Yeah. No, it's interesting what you say in regards to, and I was just thinking of this. I was speaking with a sales guy before that was in real estate. I've been helping some companies recently. I still love real estate, but my type of training is wasted a lot on agents in the market because I'm a consultative salesperson, which means you have real conversations with people. And I speak to a manager or owner of a company, like, that's what I want, okay? And then you go into the office and all it is what's happening with this deal? Why are you not chasing them? Why are you not following this? It's like, you're saying one thing and you're behaving in a completely different way. So as much as I want to make change with those people and help them elevate up, the system they're in or the environment they're in, they just won't grow. Yeah, I think the individual has to want to. And a lot of people don't want to learn. That's the honest truth, is that if someone gets to a certain level, it's probably one of my biggest things that I'm trying to do in H2 this year is I'm trying to learn more. I want to do more because I know I'm at a limit. Like, I really want to learn Arabic, but I need lessons booked in. I've not done, don't even know one Arabic word. Yeah. There's things I'm doing about like tech and coding, and it's not because I want to be a coder. I just want to learn. And I think a lot of salespeople, they have a limited capacity. If it doesn't instantly give them gratification that second, and it's not going to bring in money, they don't really see the point in it. In which I half understand. Yeah. If you're short term, if you're long term, you should want to get better. But I've seen both sides of it. It depends on the person. But what I'm saying there is that, like, we do the training and I come in and everything's great. And a week later, the manager, it's just what I've tried to instill, which has gone completely the other way because they just go back to what they were doing. Because they want the results instantly. The manager's paid for instant results. And if your way of working and your way of training is the right way, but it doesn't get the results instantly, managers panic. Salespeople panic and they go, no, I'm going to revert back. It's a bit like doing your golf swing. Yeah. You have your lesson. You hit perfectly. When you go on the course, as soon as you get back to the old swing, I know I can get around on it. And that's basically, it takes consistent time to get people to learn the basics. But it's interesting because that's human behavior. Yeah. Like, we know it's wrong for us, but we feel more comfortable doing it, even though we know we're doing it wrong, rather than actually making that change. It takes time and maturity to realize what's bad for you. Like, I don't really have fast food. Like, I have Deliveroo virtually every night, but I'll order from Crave or I'll order from Cake Out. And if you go back to when I was 26, 25, I would literally have a Chinese every night or a McDonald's. And it takes you later on to realize that's not good for me. And it's the same thing with maturity and work. Like, what doesn't work for you, it takes time to realize that maybe coming in late or not making the calls or not listening, it's not good for you, but it takes maturity to do that.
Yeah, no, it will all come in the end. And in hindsight, you know, there's so many conversations from my dad as an example, where he's advised me on something and me being stupid at the time.
Yeah.
Was just like, no, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And now, like, we just have conversations about that. And so many other people. There's so many people that I've taken inspiration from, maybe not at that time. But when you talked before about, like, one of your key strengths is emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, when you come into a sales team and you're trying to get people to understand that. So for me, one thing, and it's great you said that, you go into a room and you can feel when somebody is on or off. Yeah. So for me, it's like, from their perspective, how are they feeling in this moment? And that's a great way of selling as well. Like, what are they really buying this for?
A lot of people, in all honesty, they're probably there going, oh, a sales trainer. Until you can get them on board and be like, look, I'm here to make you more money. If you're going to give me your time, I mean, if I was a sales trainer, I'd be like, guys, if you don't want to learn, leave the room. I have 4 people out of 10 that do. But if you're here, turn your phone off, engage with me, converse with me, and we're good. You'd rather have 4 people doing that than the 10. But like I said, some people going back to the company, they might force 10 people in a room, and 6 don't want to be there. It is what it is.
So what I'll get a lot of senior managers that will come in and, you know, they've been doing sales for 20, 30 years, and they sit there, they've got their arms crossed straight away.
Defensive.
They're like, who's this boy to tell me what to do? That's how they're feeling. But
you're old now. You're 40.
I know, but
I'm you're a boy
I
anymore.
know, but to them, I'm still a boy.
Look 20s,
yeah. But my opening line is, like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I will be stupid to just be talking for 6 hours. I want to create an environment where experience of 6 months or experience of 20 years starts engaging, and we start solving problems together. And after a while, they start to kind of calm down a little bit. And that toxic person then becomes a good energy. And then, when everyone's looking like, oh, how's Darren feeling about this? Or how's Rob feeling about this? They look at them as the guidance, don't they? And if they feel good about it, they're going to jump on
They
board
probably wouldn't be feeling good about it. They'll be sitting there. I've had them in rooms. I'm like, mate, come and do. They're like, I should be doing viewings now. That's twitching. Like,
so, Lewis, a big part of this podcast for me is that a lot of messaging from social media, from influencers and everything is, if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not successful, you're not making it in life. But, and I've heard you say this, and it's one thing you're very, very proud of. You know, you've got guys that are living in the street together in Jumeirah Gulf Estates, and you're looking around and, like, you know, they've bought those homes and they've got that success and they've got multiple properties, and you've turned those guys, they still have to do it themselves, okay, but they've been along the journey with you and had this huge success. And they're not entrepreneurs.
No, they're not.
So let's kind of speak about that a little bit.
I think the first thing is, it's so glorified being an entrepreneur. I said before in the podcast, like, when you get to a certain stage, in the stage that I'm at and potentially going to go further in the future, it's actually rubbish. Like, it can be lonely, because you no matter what decision you make, you are going to be the bad guy because you're doing what's good for the company, not for the people. It's very glorified. Everyone wants to be the guy in the Ferrari pulling up with the suitcase, but they don't want to talk about, like, I don't know, your business, your visas get banned for a week and you've got new staff starting, you've got to get on the phone to the Ministry of Labour, or last night, Property Finder, our whole account went down. I've got head of tech on the phone at 1:38 in the morning. Salaries need paying, but you can't get on the flight off the plane or wherever you are and get an SMS for an OTP. But you know, if you don't do it, everyone doesn't get paid. Like, I could literally go on all day. People glorify what it is. The honest truth is that I think I've got, like, a soul of a 90-year-old man now, because I've managed other people's monies and lives for 18 years, not just a business. And there comes a lot of responsibility doing that. You know, bringing kids up is actually quite easy. I've got people out of jail in 2010, 11 and 12, and, you know, I've funded people's weddings, and the list could go on. That's the unsexy stuff. Now, if I talk to anybody who's trying to build a career today, you don't want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be an intrapreneur. An intrapreneur is an entrepreneurial mindset within an ecosystem of business going to make you more money. Perfect example is Elon Musk. Elon Musk does not own Tesla. He literally went in and went, I'm going to make this business massive. You're going to give me preferential shares. If I do this, this is what it's going to be. And there's so many people that have come into a business. Now we talk about my agents. My agents probably could set up on their own, all of them. But when you break down what they need to do, it's probably not what they want to do. Do they want to set up an office, buy the office, renovate it, go and negotiate with DWA, hire admin, people get pregnant, they leave, they get divorced, they get out, they become alcoholics, they have gambling problems, they miss Dubai, their family, you recruit. The list could go on. And one of the agents specifically last month, his paycheck, not on the board, was 3.64 million dirhams.
Wow.
$1 million.
$1 million, yeah.
Doesn't run a business.
No.
Now that guy has also got multiple properties,
yeah,
and is doing what he's doing, has freedom to a degree. And I think, wow, I actually laughed. I went, that guy earned more than me this month. And that's incredible.
Yeah.
That makes me proud. Exactly. And what I'd say to everybody is you want to be that guy. You want to be the guy in the business that has taken advantage of what the business is.
Yeah.
Because you said it before, you don't have the headache. You have the income. You get half of everything that you generate. You can potentially build whatever you're building within the business. But you go home every night just knowing, just got to pay my bills. Just my little bills. And then I go in and rip it apart later on. Like no one wants to go into boring meetings and discuss the boring stuff. But the boring stuff is actually the important stuff that are going to help the business grow. And yeah, it's just glorified. And it's not the real world.
When I got out of property, 2012, I wanted to work in like a corporate environment for a company, like, I don't know, a company that actually ran properly.
Yeah.
I was part of for me, I like to be in a corporate environment because I feel that I represent the company.
Correct.
And that's what I love. I can't really help. I can help startups, but it's not really my thing. Like, let's build a business, rise up the ranks. Like that's what I love. So me going from real estate to getting into sales, which was SaaS back then for construction, I had an interest, but the manager, she rejected me at first because she said, I don't feel that your sales experience in real estate is good enough to be able to get into what we're offering here.
Because you were too handsome at the time.
It might, but no, that should have got me the job.
Yeah,
that should have got me the job, yeah.
Too much tension, I think.
So what's happening now is, and I just want to flip it a little bit, is that you've got this absolutely incredible market at the moment, and you've got people that are leaving what you'd call like real jobs to all of a sudden become real estate agents, yeah? And they're realizing, and they've been massively successful in these other industries, and they're coming into real estate and they're falling flat on their face.
A lot of them, by the way. I honestly think the fail rate, 70 to 80% of people getting into real estate. But you sold it. You watched the programs on Salinson's, and they glorify honestly what it is. And these people had one of my guys that I know, really successful trainer in the gym. And he's like, I'm going to get into real estate. And I'm like, okay, cool. Look, I'm not against like anyone trying to do it. But it's hard, man. Like I try and explain to the new starters, I said, if you think Dubai is competitive 5 years ago, what it is today is frightening because people from Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Mallorca, Marbella, they've all heard about Dubai, tax-free, the money. They're now bringing their offices and their people here. You've got people from London moving here and they all want to be the best real estate agent. It's so fragmented at the moment that it's frightening. But I'm fine with that because if you look from the outside and you drive down Sheikh Zayed Road, how many developers are there now? It's wild.
Yeah.
So like
and they're regulated, which is a good thing.
Which is great.
Yes.
But Emar and Nikhil are going through the same process of like, oh my God, Samana Real Estate is suddenly out of nowhere. Imtiaz developer is now here. And I don't know, Ellington that didn't exist. Ellington's the CEO of Emar. And there's hundreds and hundreds of micro developers that is taking food off the plate of the bigger developers. So it's not just real estate as a brokerage, it's across the board. And I just think that anybody leaving that job, they're in for a wide and quick awakening that it doesn't just like, oh, I'm in real estate, like, let's do a deal. Like, that's not the real world.
No. And how, like 2008, 2009, 2010, for me, first of all, I just thought it was like the Wild West.
Yes.
So, and I always say this to people, like, you want to be a professional salesperson, but you're dealing with unprofessional clients a lot of the time. So first of all, how educated is the market now? And the other side of it is like, how ruthless do you have to be as an agent now? Because there's plenty of stories where somebody would, you'll do a viewing with somebody, they'll go on the list, they'll call up the owner, and it could be your best mate, and he's done you out of a deal. Yeah. So is that still going on?
I think the most ruthless thing in the market is actually buyers. So we've done deals with developers, even like last last month, this guy bought 4 plots from us, introduced his friend, big plots as well. Developer said they were going to pay us from the introduction. Deal happened. Buyer and developer ended up speaking directly, had it all in writing. And they went, no, we're going to discount the fee and you're not getting anything. And we're like, well, we've introduced you.
Yeah.
I've had the biggest developer in Dubai. Basically, we've sold them a plot to our buyer. The developer said, sorry, we've cancelled that deal. And they bought the plot next door. Yeah, no problem, brilliant, I'm happy he's got his plot. Yeah, but your agreement was on that plot, not that one. And I said, but you're dealing directly with this company. Anyway, that company specifically, and one of the biggest ones in Dubai, I stopped working with for 6 years. I was like, don't care about the money. Like, that's full principle. So in this market, there's no loyalty.
No.
The loyalty is actually to the listing, not the buyer. If you have the listing, you control everything because that guy could hate you. But if that seller is locked in and like, I don't care, Lewis is my broker, he's going to have to come and call you. Buyer, not so much.
Yeah.
The buyer will go, I mean, the amount of deals we've done where we've even like ranches too, one of my friends who works for us, 1,000 ranches too. She lives there and everything else, showed them the house, spent weeks with them, and then calls and went, yeah, I know you've viewed, but this guy said he'd do it for 0.25%. Like nothing, he's going to make money on maybe the conveyance and the mortgage.
Yeah.
And this person knew that person. So it is ruthless. I don't think that'll ever change. I think it'll always be ruthless to a degree. The broker wants what's good for them. The buyer wants what's good for them. And developers, the worst thing in the off-plan market is the amount of buyers that say, oh, you get a 4%, give me 3.5%, but I'm going to go do it for my friend. And that just creates a horrible marketplace. So it is horrible.
Yeah.
It is dirty. We're as clean as you can get. And, we try and do things as much above board as you can. But if you're in real estate, it's a war out there.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm the war chief.
Well, so the thing is, though, there is that agent that will do it 0.25% or 0.5% because where they are from, for them, that's a lot of money. But I think the issue is that the client does not value the service that the agent actually does because all they think is, well, you've just got me a unit, you call up the developer or you call through a list and you got this. So you're having to kind of justify yourself.
We have this with sellers. So just take the resale market out of the equation. We've had sellers, and it doesn't happen as much anymore because they know who we are, but we'll sell a house in one day, like one day. So we always charge buyer 2%, seller 2%. The seller signed up on a Form A, you're exclusive with us or non-exclusive. If we sell it, you get this, we get this done. One day we'll sell that property. Like no one else can do that. And they'll come back, what have you done? You've literally just signed. And I said, mate, let me just try and break this down for you. We've spent, let's say the last 12 months in marketing other properties in Arabian ranches. We've gone out, taken photos, videos. Our viewing to sale ratio is 22 viewings to 1. So we've taken that buyer to 22 different properties of petrol, time, cost, to figure out what they want to go and offer your unit. Let's forget social media, PPC, SEO, video content, and everything else that comes with it. That happens, if we sell it quick, it's because we've done a good job. It's not because it's lucky. And that is such a hard thing for a seller to understand. They basically are, I obviously, Brits in Dubai, we own that. And you go on there and real estate agents just get absolutely hammered. They've just opened the door. They're disgusting, taking 5% for the rent. That's not real world.
No.
If I told them it cost me 1,000 dirhams to put a property premium on a listing, and if the commission's $5,000, 2.5 goes to the agent. I've spent 1,000, so really I get 1,500 from the money. But the tenant don't care about that. They just go, I paid $5,000.
The thing is, we're in the service industry, so we are the bottom of everyone's shoe, and they expect world service, a world-class service for next to nothing. Occasionally, there's that person that appreciates the service you're doing because they've had experience from elsewhere and they know how bad it can be. So then when you actually get a good agent and they follow through and they do everything the right way, sometimes literally just calling a client back, the client doesn't even expect that because they never even hear from an agent. And this goes across all sales. Like the sales industry, unfortunately, along with trying to help people provide for themselves and their families, like for me, what's really important is to kind of elevate the industry back up.
Do you think people want to be called these days?
Do they want to be called?
Yeah, because the most successful platforms in the world, Deliveroo, Uber.
Yeah.
And I always say to people now, like, I actually get annoyed if Deliveroo calls me and says, I can't find your address. I'm like, you've not done your job. How much do you think AI prospecting that doesn't need to happen with a call? And when does calls become important? Is this your podcast or mine?
No, it's a really good question, because I talk about this all the time. Like, and I say robots are taking salespeople's jobs. Said that for 7-8 years, But that's why this consultative sales approach is so important, because they've done so much information, so much research. They're coming to you, and a lot of the time they're more educated than what you already are. So what value are you actually bringing? And for me, it's down to like reassurance, understanding, appreciation. Like, you make that person feel great. You're taking them on that viewing, and you're making them feel like it's the best experience they've ever had.
Yeah.
And because you're understanding why they want this as well, you're creating that environment where that's what they want. Like the guy next door, they want to keep up with them. This one's bigger, this one's a bigger plot size. If that's important to them, that's what you're driving.
Yeah.
But in regards to the calling, I think that if somebody makes an inquiry online, I think to myself, is that how they want to be engaged? Because they won't answer the phone call, but they'll respond to the email. So if that's how they want to be spoken to, then I'm happy with that.
It is mad though.
Yeah.
I literally sent someone a lead yesterday. It was from my Instagram, and someone said I wanted to buy. So my theory is how I'm trained. If you send me a lead, I'll call you within 10 minutes. Like, that's basically, because I think that's the hottest time to call them. And this lead was sent at 8 o'clock, 20 past 8. This guy's been called. So how'd you get on the lead? They said, why are you calling me 8:30? Like, I'll call you when I want to call you. I'm like, mate, you just inquired on the lead.
Yeah.
A lot of people in today's world want the voice note or the WhatsApp, to start the engagement before it gets to the later stage of like convincing. My theory on meeting and calling is all about convincing somebody and getting to say, this is why you should buy. And I don't think you can do that over a voice note, but general blanket prospecting of, hey, here's a market report, check it out, is an easy way to open the door, and then you lead up with a call.
Again, it's how they want to be communicated with. So that person, they wanted some information, but they didn't want to speak to somebody at 8:30 at night. They were happy to read something, and that's how they were going to engage with it. And then you follow up the next day. Like, and again, I don't think there's any sort of blueprint on how to do it. It's their personality, how they are. Maybe I'd look at their account and see what their account is like, or go on their LinkedIn and see how they're engaging. Like, I was looking at your stuff today, what you're commenting on. That's what drives a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
People think like building rapport is like talking about a fishing trip or something, but sometimes it's just listening to a person.
Yeah.
And when they feel heard, appreciated, understood. How annoying is it? Like, and you say about the delivery guy, and nothing annoys me more than the delivery guy will message me after I've already given the location and everything to the other person, asking me to WhatsApp the location. I'm like, I've given it to you already through the business. What are you doing? And it's that little thing that has that disconnect, and people don't realise.
But you feel annoyed, be like, you've not done your part of the duty. Like, why are you double asking me? And like, that is just the service we're in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like, they don't even think to go on the system and look at this. Like, they're just making phone calls. If we go back to sales, they're making phone calls. They're not looking at previous information. They're not looking at when they inquired before, how comes they didn't. And I know that there are agents out there, and I know there's salespeople that are doing that, but it's so few and far between.
If you're not calling, this is just a real estate thing. If you're not calling, the reason notes are so important on a CRM, which a lot of agents don't do, which try and get them to do, and they do to a majority. But if you're an agent, I'm basically calling you saying, hey, Mark, I looked at notes. I see you viewing yesterday with Lewis and JB. Amazing. How'd that go? Look, it looks like looking for a 2-bed up to this. Incredible. Just to let you know, I've got some in Marina. It's fully upgraded, full Marina view, 606 Marina Tower, what a unit.
Nice.
Like, and then I'm pitching to you that way based off the history. It takes it from a cold call to a warm call, because you reference who they've been speaking to, what they're viewing, and then you're pushing your product into it. That's why notes are important for me.
Yeah. But when you just said that, I just saw Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. He goes, something has just come across my desk.
That's me.
Well, no, but what's interesting there is, like, some people will say, I want this, and this, okay? They want a 2-bedroom, sea view, blah, blah, blah. But people only know what they know. Yeah. And we think that buyers, they should know what they want.
Buyers do not know what they want.
They've not got a clue, have they? And an agent, most agents, I know there's great agents out there, and great salespeople as well, they are showing them what they think they want to see. But you need to be in a position where you can advise somebody, and that's why you're an advisor, yeah?
But you can't do that without questions, Mark. That's probably the number one thing where a lot of people don't find out where their kids go to school, where they work, where their travel is, why they're moving out of their place. If they're moving out of their place, are they selling that place? Is the landlord going to give the details? Like, all these things become part of the sales process, because if you find out where they live, you know it's going to be vacant. Yeah. Then you can prospect for that listing. Then you find out where they go to school, where they could, and then you can say, okay, basically, like I always tell everybody, it's like a murder mystery where you've got the strings on the wall. Yeah. You're working out where they've gone to school, where they work, where they need to be, where they live. You can put the circle around, like, just why have you not to the town square? Let's go and have a look at that because it looks like it's in your vicinity.
Yeah.
And when you get on there, they're like, I haven't considered that.
I talk about this all the time when I do the training, but questions are so important. Yeah? Good answers come from good questions. So I've got these written down today. Like, does it feel like an interrogation?
No.
We're having a conversation,
all,
aren't we? But when I first started asking questions, like question 1, question 2, question 3. But if we look at real estate, and I always use this example, I did a viewing years and years and years ago, and they said to me, from me asking questions to them, it was very important for them to have a kitchen where they had the window looking out into the garden.
Stunning.
And as we spoke about that, they said they want to feel that they can watch their kids whilst they're cooking, and they're picturing it, calling the kids.
It's my mum's house. It's literally my mum's house.
There we go. And that's what I'm taking you back to.
It.
Yeah. So they go back to the kitchen table and everyone's enjoying their food and you can smell the food and everything. Yeah. That was so important to them.
Yeah.
Showed them the dream home. They absolutely loved it. Followed up with them a little bit later on. They're like, oh, we found one down the street.
No window.
And it's $1 million less. Yeah. And I was like, okay, but I know that property and I know it doesn't have that. But they were so hell-bent on price that they actually forgot to think about what they really wanted.
But for 100 grand, mate, you could knock a window in.
Well, that's
how I think. I'm like, okay, cool.
But I took them back to that time when I just said, like, but from the conversation we had, you mentioned that this was important to you. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And also that one, it doesn't
what did they buy? That's what I want to know.
What's that?
What did they end up buying? The cheap one?
No, they're not buying this one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I had to take them back to that.
Yeah.
Again, they're just so focused on price.
People, I always say to any buyer that I'm speaking to, and it's very rare that I speak to buyers these days, but so when you buy a house, you're never going to sit there like buzzing out your head on yourself. I got this really cheap. I know it's shit, but it's cheap. You want to sit in your home and be like, yeah, this is my home. Yeah. And a lot of people sometimes forget that when they're negotiating over 100,000 dirhams or even if it's the million, because you spread that 100 or a million over 25 years, it's semi-negligible at that value.
Such a Zig Ziglar, I don't know if you know, sales coach. He tells this story about his wife, and they were looking at a dream home, and it was 20% more than what he budgeted for on the maximum he was going to spend. Yeah. Now his wife is the best salesperson in the world because she's showing him around the house. He absolutely loves it. Gets back home. And she starts asking questions. So like, do we have to pay that extra money right now? And he's like, no. He goes, how long is that over? He said, 25 years. How much is that a year? X amount. How much is that a month? Yeah. How much is that a day? And he says the amount. She says, isn't it nice to have a happy wife that costs an extra $2 a day rather than...
It's true.
And he said, guess where we live now?
Exactly.
You know, so that little breakdown, like you said, over a certain period of time, people aren't spending $1 million dirhams on a car.
Correct.
They're thinking of 6,000 dirhams a month on their payments.
I've just done this training, but I didn't do training. I was talking about it in a training session 2 days ago. It was about off plan and just explaining people off plan. Don't tell people it's 1.5 million dirhams. Tell them, do you have 150,000 dirhams today? And if you've got 150,000 dirhams in 3 months, if you can break down, everyone's working out. They know it's when they go in the bank.
Yeah.
And they work, actually, I can't afford that. But if you say the master price to them, they go, oh my God. It's like going to your bird that you your girlfriend and be like, we're going to get married in 10 years. Like, oh my God, no, we're not. How's it going on? But if you say, actually, look, we're going to date for a few years and then meet your family and then maybe, it becomes, there's a journey to it.
Well, look, we're coming towards the end here. Yes. So there's a couple of questions I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First one is, what haven't I asked that I should have asked?
Oh. What do I do out of work?
What do you do? Okay, so Lewis, what do you do out of work?
I'm actually very boring as I've got older. My routine pretty much the same. My life revolves around my kids. Number one thing, like if I've got spare time, it's with the family. Yeah. Don't go out and drink ever. And you'll never see me in a pub going for a pub drink with my mates. I will basically finish work when I get home, spend time with the kids. Me and George will always put the kids to bed every night. 7, 8 o'clock. Anybody that hasn't got kids, you will know your night basically ends. Yeah. We sit together, have dinner, whatever it may be. Cameras are on. Then I go to bed, mate. And I get up in the morning and I do the same thing, go to the gym and then go to work. Yeah. So it's not as glamorous and exciting that you think you would be.
And what's got your attention at the moment? What's exciting you?
I just want to keep traveling when I get time. Okay. I love travel. You've seen the jets and these things that are there. And
well, you get leg room now, which is great. 6'5".
6'5",
exactly.
I need it. I want my kids to see the world. I think I'm writing a book at the moment called 40 Lessons at 40. So I'm trying to publish it for my 40th. And basically the concept is letters to my children about lessons that I've learned.
Wonderful.
And one of them in there is basically talking about travel. And I just said, look, you will learn more from going to Greece than looking at a map of Greece in a classroom. And the more I can get my kids to see Dubai and I don't know, Thailand and then Maldives and England. My kids are so, when I was, what's my kid? My kid's 6. She's in London. She knows about homeless people and she's seen it. And it's sad. And we always take our clothes when we leave, we give them to Oxfam and we give them to the hospice and make sure that any toys we have to negotiate with them about, what toys they can and can't give. And they know the reason for it. But then you'll come to Maldives and you see island life, but then you come to Dubai and there's no homelessness, people are safe. And then you go to America and crazily you've got to talk about gun laws and why that exists. The more I can keep traveling and get my kids to travel, I think they'll become wiser people. And that's probably what I'm really interested in travel. I like traveling.
Yeah. No, because everyone talks about the Dubai bubble.
Yeah.
And it's important because you want the kids to be safe, but you also want them to experience kind of what they need to know the other side of it, really, so they can appreciate it and be aware of stuff as well.
And that's difficult. As a father, it's one of the most difficult things because you want to buy your kid everything. And I can go in a mall and buy whatever the hell I want. But I make my kids cry sometimes from saying no. And you want to say yes. Daddy, why can't I have that toy? I haven't got the money. And I openly say, Daddy doesn't have the money and I want it. And she's like, when can we? I go, so Daddy's got to go to work, make some coins. Nice. And then if we have a good time, and you're good at school, you'll get that. So it's just being a parent and teaching your kids these ways, it's hard because the people that you love the most in the world, you want to give them everything. Yeah. But I always say about kids talking about travel is that you are their guardian until they're 18. Yeah. And you want to teach them, like I said before about taking Harvey, my son, to the gym. I want to take him to the gym. So I wanted to know about health and fitness and I'll show him what I'm doing. And I want to tell Mila, like one antidote before we wrap up. Mila, my daughter, was having trouble with these kids in school. Nothing bad was happening, but she said, Daddy wasn't making friends with me in school. I said, okay, I'm going to teach you one tip. Do this. Don't ask them why you don't want to play. When they say they want to play, like, no problem, I'm going to play with someone else. Yeah. You act like you do not care. She come back, Daddy. I told them, no problem, I'm going to play with. They grabbed me and said, no, come and play with us. Teaching these things and teaching and traveling is huge for me.
All right. So just as we wrap up, one last question so you can teach me something. Because you've got a podcast, you interview people. And I must say, like, from where you were in regards to being on camera and speaking and communicating, it is day and night. And I know that was a big thing for you to overcome as well. We should have spoken about it a little bit. But from what I'm doing and what you've seen today, like, what would you advise me? What tips would you give me in regards to what I'm doing?
Just be yourself. I used to be, when I started the company and went on camera, I'd be like, hello, even to speak, I am Lewis, I am the chairman. Now I'm just like, look, I ain't going to hide who I am. Like, it's who I am. And I think that you have to understand that people who like you will like you. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. No. People who say he's a show off, he's a showman and whatever else. But some people are like, he's actually a nice guy. It's what it is. Their opinion of me is irrelevant, but I will be exactly who I am if I meet the King of England, Sheikh Mohammed, or I meet you. And if you don't like it, no problem. No. And that's what every person, because authenticity is probably the number one weapon that everybody has. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that I see, they go on there, look at my watch, look at this. And I know, I've met these people, by the way, they are so insecure in real life, they're not real. No. And being that way, at some point, it will unfold. Yeah.
Now, you've got to love yourself if we finish there, but some will, some won't. Yeah. So what? Next.
Oh, wow.
If they don't get it, then it's okay.
Mic drop.
There we go. Lewis, this is your turning point.
Thanks, you, mate.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. You could have been anywhere else, but you've been here with me, and I appreciate that. But remember, knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. From this episode, take one thing and action it, and you never know where it's going to get you. Now, if you've seen this as valuable, the only way we spread this across the community is by you liking, commenting, and sharing. Because everybody, this could be their turning point.